Hello, I'm Mike Collins, and today we're going to focus on Focus Visible. This is going to entail two parts, and what I'm going to be doing is redoing my header on my SaaS product. Currently, it is a floating group. I'm going to change it to a group, add some menu items so that the page can scroll down to those menu items. I do want this to still be sticky, so we'll be referencing a different video on that one that I've already done. And then what I want to do in this one is to focus on the Focus Visible, which if you're not using mouse, can't use mouse, using a keyboard or a browser like a screen reader that uses tabs to navigate, then what we want to do is create some visual feedback and some visual feedback in this case, to show that we're tabbing to a button. You know, we have, when we're mousing, we have hover that we can do, but we don't have the focus visible. Focus is when something is either clicked into and it focuses, such as an element, or if I tab to it, it will also focus. So we're going to be using my styles guide, styles, today. And what I've done is put on the page different things that can be tabbed to and show the focus visible. So buttons, links, inputs, the icons that are built into Bubble. Here is an HTML element that I'm put a link in. And then map. Now map is a really strange one. But first, let me show you that naturally, within Bubble, you can't see when you tab to an item. So I just refresh the page. Now I'm going to tab. And so we have 1, 2, 3 buttons, a link, and then an input. So on the 5th tab, I should be here. In the meantime, you're not going to be able to tell where I am. So that's 1 tab, 2 tab, 3 tab, 4 tab, 5th tab. I'm in my input. 6th tab is the icon. 7th tab, because this is styled as regular HTML within the HTML link element, it has a focus visible on it, just defaulting from the browser. Map. You can tab through the map, but you can't tell where you are. So right now it does highlight this whole map. If I tab again, I hit enter, then it gives me the option to select the terrain. I can tab again. I'm now satellite view. Tab again, I can go full screen. Tab again, you will see that it's slightly darker on the plus button. If I tab, it's now on the minus button. And if I hit escape, we come out of the map. Then I can keep tabbing. And at some point, you will see, actually there we go. So you will see this little dark outline on the terms of use, and another one on report an error. And then we're back up to the URL. So this one's all about styling these different elements to show a focus visible. So let's get started. So the first thing I have to do is double check that I have the Classify plugin installed. And you've seen that in other videos. Go back to the design. If you don't have it installed, go ahead and install it. That's the only thing you have to do, is install it. You don't have to have anything else. And we'll go to design. And on the, in case you're new to this, go to the settings, go to general, and you probably see the bubble favicon over here. Down here it says expose the option to add an ID attribute to HTML elements. Make sure to check that on. And now when we look at the appearance tab for the button, we see this ID attribute. If you didn't see it, if you don't see it, that's what it is. You have to go to the settings and then general and turn it on. So to add, we'll add a class to this primary button. So I'm going to open the curly bracket, add class, capital C, colon, space, open quote, I'm going to say each button is separate. Do I want to say each button is separate? Will I be doing anything else with these buttons that will make it separate? Well, let's just say my button for now. We can always go and change this later. So close quote, close curly bracket. And then I want to copy this, and let's put it on these other buttons. I'm going to go to the link. I'm also going to paste it there, but I'm going to change button to link. And then input has an ID of input, but I'm not using that, I don't believe. So I'm just going to copy the button thing, change button to input. Here's the icon. Change that to my icon. Now, the HTML element is interesting because what we can do is up here, or once we open the HTML editor, we could do it there as well, but it's easier here. I can just add class up here. So my HTML link. We'll save that. Map, I'm not going to bother, although I should do. Let's see if we can add an outline. My map. Okay. Now I need to put an HTML element on the page. Doesn't really matter where. Oops, that was open. So let's open the HTML editor, put in our style, opening and closing tags, style. And we'll put in dot my button colon focus hyphen visible. space, open curly bracket. Let's close curly bracket so we don't forget. And we now want to add an outline. So let's start with the outline color. Now, this is an experiment, C0874F. Because we're trying to override the bubble styles, everything needs to get an important. So exclamation mark, important, semicolon. And then outline, offset, oops, as long as I can spell it correctly. And this, we want to do 0. We'll start with 0.25 rem. Again, we want important, semicolon. And what this will do is add a little bit of padding between the element and the outline so that it's not right on the element. For example, the inputs, it's right within the element, and we want this to be sort of offset a little bit. And you'll see that when we look at the buttons. So the next one is outline hyphen style colon solid exclamation mark important semicolon. Last one, outline width 0.2 rem. And we can always also play with this, important. So exclamation mark, important, semicolon. So let's see if that did anything. So I'm refreshing the preview page and tabbing. Nothing's happening. Why? Oh, because I didn't spell it correctly. Focus. Visible. Sorry if you were yelling at the screen. There we go. Oof. Not sure I like that color. But you see, it has a little space between the outline and the element itself, and that helps when you already have outlines on the buttons. We can always change the color in a bit. I have a couple others that I've written down, and obviously it's part of the overall picture. So I will tweak the colors. So now that we have this first one, we can copy it. Go to the next line, change this to link, and we're just going to keep going down the line. Oops. What was the other one? Input. We already have a focus on the input. I know we have icon. And then we have my HTML link. And I think one more is the map. Yep. Save. Let's go look at the preview page, refresh the preview page, see how we did. So it's on the primary button, secondary button, brand button, link. So with the link, to make it the sort of the same, sorry, my ankle is itching, the same style, we can round the corners of the link and make it fit the width so that it's not this big space. So this is interesting because the focus and the focus visible is now active, and so we'll want to see if we want both of them active. Icon, and then that did not work for the HTML link and did not work for the map. Okay, that's good to know. So I'm going to take the map off. I use another tool, and it's the same thing with the map in there. It has its own little way, and that's what it likes. So let's look at this HTML link. So I spelled it the same. Let me get rid of the class in here for now. And let me add it to the ID attribute. So I'm doing open curly brackets, add class, capital C, all one word, colon, space, open quote, my HTML link, close quote, close curly bracket. I'm going to go refresh the page. And now it's back to what the default is for the browser. All right, so that needs a little work, but the things that are built into Bubble we know work. Let's just take a look at this link for a second. It is a fixed width. So if we take off the width, uncheck fixed width, minimum width 0, and do fit width to content, let's add a little padding around it. Let's go back to appearance. Let's edit the link style. And we'll add a roundness of 5, see what that gets us. So let's update the preview page. And there we go. So now we have a round on the link as well. There is this other thing, and I'm going to put this developer.mozilla.org in the description. There's something else called focus within, and what that does is when you focus on something, you can have something else do something. So in this case, I clicked into the input for the full name, and they had the label bold, go bold, where it was normal before. And so same thing if you tab to it. So let's give this a try. The interesting thing about the input label is it is also an HTML element. And that is because the bubble doesn't have a text element that will let you say that that goes with an input to make a label go with an input. And that's an accessibility issue. Hopefully someday they'll rectify. But for now, the way around it is to put an HTML element there and make it a label. So let's look at this. So the label, what do we have to do? We just have to call it label, right? Form label, 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 label. So it is label. That's good. Halfway there. Let's look at the CSS. Don't know. Why did they change? Actually, no, that doesn't have anything to do with it. So it's just this part we want. So let's go into our styles, because we'll eventually want to make this a reusable. So I'm putting focus, label, focus within. Now I shouldn't, yep, because label is an element, an HTML element. I shouldn't have to, unless I create it as a style, make it a style. So font weight bold. Let's give it a shot. Font weight bold. Important. Semicolon, close, curly bracket. Let's refresh the page. Tap, tap, tap. Nope, didn't do anything. Okay. Well, we'll figure out how to get around that. So we did accomplish what we wanted to accomplish. And then on our list, sort of our backlog, is to decide whether we want the dual focus visible, or we change the focus to be consistent with the focus visible. And then what do we do with the, I think I just figured out why. Because the input is within the label, and that's why it knows it's being focused. And we're not able to put the input in the label, which is too bad. So we can forget about focus within. Right. Get rid of that. And so that leaves us with just deciding on the focus and focus visible for the inputs. Perfect. That's it for today. We'll work on the rest of this next time. Thank you.